Hi guys, how are you? This light might be a little, I turned the one light off so it's not so bright, but it might be too bright, but I did turn the one light off. Let's see. It might be too bright, but we're going to go with it. Okay guys, I am going to make, I'm sure people's heard of these before, no-bake cookies, but we're going to make a lemon no-bake cookie. So that's what I'm going to do today, and everybody jump on. Oh, there we come. There's people jumping on. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're going to make a lemon no-bake cookie today. So the recipe is 1.5 cups of sugar. I moved you guys over so you could see me. So we're going to put the 1.5 cups of sugar in. And then you need 3/4 cups of butter. So we're going to put that in. I'm going to set my eye on 5, which is a medium. Maybe we'll do 6 to start. Hi, Tanya. So we're going to do 3/4 cups of butter. Now, when you get to the part where this is starting to boil, this one here, you have to let it boil for 5 minutes. It has to boil for a complete 5 minutes. So, okay, and then we got 2/3 cup of milk. So that's going in. So that's that. And then I have the eye on 6. So I'll wait for this to start to then when I get it to where we need to scoop it, I'm going to move you guys back across my kitchen so I can scoop it while you guys are watching. Okay, so lemon no-bake cookies. So the first step is 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, and 2/3 cup of milk. And then you're going to let it boil for 5 minutes. Then you're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to scoot down a little bit so everybody on Facebook can see me. I'm not going to use the vanilla. That's what the lady had put on there, vanilla. I'm using lemon extract. The lemon, this is actually natural lemon flavoring. So here in Myrtle Beach we have a flea market that you can go to, and they sell these. They're called Southern Flavor Company, and you can buy, I think it's 4 bottles for $10, and they have all different flavors. Hey, bud. So anyway, instead of using vanilla, I'm going to use this. Even though she said to use vanilla, we're not. Hey, Tracy. Hi, honey. How are you? So once this comes to a boil, then you let it boil for 5 minutes, and then we're going to put a teaspoon of the lemon flavoring, and then you're going to whisk in 1 box. It's 3.4 ounces of Jell-O instant pudding. This is the instant, not the cooked. So make sure you get instant, not cooked. You're going to whisk this in, and then you'll fold in, hi Cinda, then you're going to fold in 3.5 cups of rolled oats. And I use the not the long cooked oats. These are like more like the instant oats. That's what I'm using. So I have that bowl right here. Okay, so we're just going to start stirring this. Now, when this does come to a boil, her direction says, I've made no-bake cookies a lot of times. I have never made these, so this is a learning process. So we'll just do it together and see what it's like. I've made the chocolate ones many, many times, and I've made where they're just peanut butter ones, but I've never made lemon. So if you're just jumping on here, we're making lemon no-bake cookies. I really don't even know how lemon and oatmeal are going to taste. I guess okay. We're going to find out. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I think it's going to be something with cottage cheese. We'll be leaving Saturday, so I'll make some cottage cheese something. Hi Sue, how are you? We are making lemon no-bake cookies. So I'm just going to keep stirring this. It's going to take a while for this to, hi Alicia. It's going to take a while for this to start to boil. So we can go over the recipe again if you guys want. And the first 3 ingredients is 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, and 2/3 cup of milk. And you put that in your pan and you let everything melt. And then when it comes to a rolling boil, we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes. Melissa's favorite flavor. Yep, lemon. You're right, Tracy. She loves lemon. Auntie will have to make these for her when she comes next time, if they turn out. Fingers crossed they turn out. I have to bend down so my head doesn't jump off of Facebook. So the butter's almost melted, and I have my eye set on 6.5. I have an electric stove, so gas stove is going to be completely different. They sound good. They do sound good. Let's hope they taste good. Let's hope they turn out. I'm never shy to try it one time. I was waffling between 2 different recipes today. So the other one was a baked one, and it was also a lemon cookie, but it was baked. And then this popped up, and I was like, well, they sound good. And then, I was looking at an orange lacy cookie too. But in order for me to do that, I would have loved it. I still might do that. The thing is, you can mix up the ingredients, but it has to sit in the refrigerator overnight. So maybe I will make the ingredients on here one day, and then we'll do something else, and then the next day we'll finish doing the orange lacy cookies, because those sounded really, really good. And there's not a lot of ingredients in it. I mean, it's got orange, I can't remember everything, but there's orange juice and a couple other ingredients, but it has to sit overnight in the refrigerator. Well, everything I read, she said 3 hours to overnight. Hi, Megan, how are you, hon? So, to me, if somebody's saying 3 hours to overnight, I would definitely let it sit overnight. But I will try those too. Like I said, I'll try everything once. And if I don't like it, or if it doesn't turn out, well, we tried. Now, I've made chocolate no-bake cookies many a times. I can make those no problem. And I made the peanut butter ones where there's no chocolate, but I have never made lemon. So Again, if you're just jumping on here, we're making lemon no-bake cookies. The first 3 ingredients is 1.5 cups of sugar. Do they have oatmeal in them? Yeah. So it's 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, and then 2/3 cup of milk. You melt that, and then it's got to come to a rolling boil, and it has to boil for 5 minutes at a rolling boil. Then you add in a teaspoon of vanilla. It was her directions. I'm not doing that. I'm adding in this lemon flavoring. That's my choice. And then, so you stir it, you take it off the eye, you add in 1 teaspoon of this, stir it in, and then you add in 1 box of Jell-O instant pudding mix. And it's the 3.4 ounce box. And then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. So this is starting to steam. Thanks for liking my live, Alicia. So yep, they have oatmeal on them. It's 3.5 cups. It's kind of a different sounding flavor, oatmeal and lemon, but I'll try anything once. I saw the other day, I was at Costco's, and they had, I should have bought a bag. They had, because I do like lemon, but they had a lemon mint cookie, and it almost looked like Thin Mints, but the outside, I know I want to try those. Could you even switch it? Yes. And I thought about doing butterscotch. You know, the butterscotch pudding? Because butterscotch and oatmeal go really good together. So I thought about that. The lady said you can use whatever you want. So butterscotch would be delicious. But I already did this, and when I got home I was like, oh, I should have bought the butterscotch. We'll try that, definitely. And I bet not only butterscotch, but I bet the pistachio would be good too. The pistachio instant pudding with oatmeal, I bet that would be good as well. But I definitely, if these turn out, I definitely will try the butterscotch because I love butterscotch. And there's so many different flavors out now in the instant pudding, in the Jell-O instant pudding. My gosh, could you imagine if it was with the Jell-O flavorings, because of all the Jell-O flavorings? I can't even imagine. But I know there's other pudding out there. The possibilities, aren't they though? Because Sonic makes a pudding now, Hershey's makes a pudding, and Sonic has like their, almost like their drink flavors, and Hershey's has a bunch of different ones. Hershey's has like the Oreo one. Yeah, it's endless of what you can do. Well, we're getting to almost that point where, and you know what, I'm not going to let this, I'm going to let them set up, but I will taste it before they set up. Definitely taste it before it sets up. So we're getting to where it's almost ready to start boiling. And here it goes. So I am going to set Alexa. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so if you guys are jumping on here, we are making a different recipe today. I've never made it before, but we're making it. I have made no-bake cookies. This is a no-bake lemon cookie. So the first 3 ingredients is 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, and 2/3 cups of milk. Once that boils for 5 minutes, then you add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm choosing to use the lemon flavoring instead of vanilla. Hey Tiff, how are you, honey? And so after it boils for 5 minutes, you put a teaspoon of this in, or vanilla, your choice. And then you will whisk in 1 box of instant lemon pudding, and it's the 3.4 ounce box. Make sure it's instant, not cooked. You want the instant. And then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. You're going to fold that in after you put this in. So, and then I'm going to move you guys across my counter, and we're going to plate them up, put them on the thing. So while this is starting to boil, I'm going to open this. And we'll just see how they taste. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Bud. Hi, Trace. Ooh, it smells divine. Hey, Tiff. So, yep, it's starting to boil. And she said to stir it every once in a while so it doesn't scorch on the bottom. You don't want your butter to scorch or your sugar. Where's everybody at on here? Let's see, I know my niece is from Arizona. I know my other niece is from Arizona. One's on TikTok, one's on Facebook. And we're just stirring away, and we have 2 minutes. It said a rolling boil, so I hope that was at a really rolling boil whenever I started. I might give it an extra minute. Alabama, Missouri, cool. We're from South Carolina. I see somebody on here from South Carolina. Hey, bud. I hope you're feeling better. Auntie, I am, honey. I am feeling much better. That food poisoning is no joke. I never, ever want to feel like that again. Oh, the Ozarks. Oh, that's beautiful. Kansas. Hi, Angie. I'm originally from Illinois, so I know what the Midwest looks like. That's for sure. Yes. Here, too. We live, well, I always say it's Myrtle Beach, but we live in Surfside Beach. You know, I'm just a mile from the water, so we're blessed. But we do not like it when we get that white stuff here. It shuts the city down. I think yesterday it was 62 here. Today I think it's 68. With overcast. I do too. I love the coast. I'm originally from Illinois, and then my husband and I moved to Pennsylvania, and we lived there half of our life, and then we moved here, so. And I was lucky enough that my children followed me, so I am blessed. So I have my kids and my grandkids all in one spot. I am blessed. Illinois is my neighborhood. Alexa, stop. I was originally from Decatur, Illinois. They call that like Little Chicago, is what they used to call it. So I'm gonna let this go for one more minute. I'm nervous. I want them to turn out. You know, on the chocolate ones, what are you making? We are making lemon no-bake cookies. So it's 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, 2/3 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but I'm choosing to use this. It's a lemon flavoring. A box of lemon jello, 3.4 ounce box of instant, and then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. That's what we're making. Yeah, I grew up in Decatur, Illinois. It was a lot of farmland, but it was mainly a lot of factories. A lot of factories were there. Okay. Alexa, set the timer for 1 minute. I know I said 1 minute. I'm just going to let it go. One more minute. I'm nervous. I want this to turn out. I'm going to get my teaspoon ready, and it said to pull it off the eye, so we'll do that. And I'm going to get this ready. If you can ever find this stuff, I don't know, sometimes if you guys have an Ollie's, an Ollies, Ollie's, sometimes they carry this. They have all different flavors. Oh, you've been to Decatur? Not much to see there now. Hi, Bomba. Okay, we're down to 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Oh, just the drive-through. Okay, Alexa, stop. Okay, I'm going to pull this off the eye. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of the lemon in. We're going to stir that in. And then in goes the 3.4 ounces, oh, let's strip this eye off, of instant pudding. And it says gradually. It's a little fluffy. Definitely get a whisk, not just try to do it with a wooden spoon, guys. Get all those clumps out of there. Okay. Then it says to fold in 3.5 cups of your oatmeal. In it goes. Scoot this back over so you can see a little bit. That eye's off. And it said to keep stirring for about 2 minutes to make sure it's completely coated, evenly coated. Your arm's going to get tired. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so if you guys are just jumping on here, we're making a lemon no-bake cookie. I've never made them before, so this is my first time making them. And you need 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of unsalted butter, 2/3 cup of milk. Let that all come to a boil. Let it boil for 5 minutes. Then you need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I chose to use lemon flavoring just to give it an extra kick. And then a box of instant lemon pudding, the 3.4 ounce box. And then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. And it's just said to stir for 2 minutes. And then we're going to move over here and put it on our parchment. Oh, my arm is tired. I can feel it thickening up, like the chocolate ones. Oh, boy. Definitely, everybody pray. Pray that it turns out. Everybody pray. Okay. I'm going to let this sit here a minute, and I'm going to move you guys to where you're usually at. So hold on tight with me. Okay. Here's you. Hey guys. I'm going to move you guys right there. Alright. I'm going to bring over this hot pan. Okay. Now, let's see if they turn out. You don't have to use this. You can use a teaspoon or a tablespoon. I'm just going to drop them with my cookie scoop. This is the medium-sized cookie scoop. If you guys have a cookie scoop, there's like 4 different sizes. This is the medium one. So it gives a nice little cookie. Everybody cross your fingers if this works. If not, we're going to have a mess. But if it works, if Alicia's still on here, we will do the butterscotch for sure. I will do a butterscotch one. Because that just sounds absolutely yummy. Let's see how many we get. I think when I make my chocolate ones, I get like 30, maybe. I'm going to move this a little bit. Hot. Ooh, that's hot. So, there was somebody else on here, her name was Alicia. Her and I were talking, and like she said, if these turn out, your flavors are endless that you could do. You could do any instant pudding flavor. And I bet butterscotch would be just delicious. So if there's anybody that's just jumping on here, we are making lemon no-bake cookies. And the recipe is 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, 2/3 cups of milk, and you bring that to a boil. And once it comes to a complete boil, you let it boil for 5. I never heard of them either. I just come upon it and I decided, oh, I'm going to try it. Why not? Once that comes to a boil, you let it boil for 5 minutes. And then you add a teaspoon of vanilla. I did not use vanilla. I used my lemon flavoring to give it an extra little kick. You whisk that in. And then you put in 1 box of instant lemon pudding, and it's 3.4 ounce box of the instant pudding. and then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. Now, in her directions, she said for them to turn out, you definitely have to let them go that 5 minutes, or they will not turn out. So that was in her, let me get it. That was in her directions. Let me see here. I think I can get one more cookie. Lay that there. I want to make sure okay. So, I think there's one more in here. All the scrapings. And it's coming out of the pan just like the chocolate ones do. And the peanut butter ones, so. I'm going to put this one right there. It's not as full as the other ones. But almost. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 30. So we got 34, guys. We got 34. Let me put this in the sink. So we got 34, and let's see, this top one is the first one I put. Oh, they are getting hard. It's getting hard. Now, she didn't say how long it was going to take for them to get hard, but it is getting hard. It's not tacky anymore. So, I am going to... Well, let's do the one that wasn't all the way as full. So they're starting to set up. You can see they're starting to set up. But I want to taste it. Here it goes. It's really good. It almost tastes like you're eating a pie. It tastes like you're eating a pie. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like lemon meringue pie. Is what it tastes. That's what it tastes like. So anyhow, it says that she didn't say how long it would set up for, so we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, this is what I made today. It tastes really good. So I'm going to give the recipe one more time, and I'm going to let them sit for a while. Usually the chocolate ones are already hard by now, but I mean, this is definitely setting up. I can tap. It's still a little soft, but it's firming. So it might take maybe 30 minutes for them to cool down and gel. So anyway, these are lemon no-bake cookies, 1.5 cup of sugar, 3/4 cups of butter, 2/3 cup of milk. Put that on your eye, let it start to boil. When it comes to a rolling boil, set your timer for 5 minutes. I kind of panicked a little bit and I let it go for 6. And then once it comes to the rolling boil, you add a teaspoon of vanilla, or I added lemon, your choice, your preference. 1 box of instant pudding. It's 3.4 ounce instant. Make sure it's instant. And then 3.5 cups of oatmeal. Stir that in. Start scooping them. You can use a cookie scoop or a spoon. Your choice. And next, if they turn out like I think they are, they look like they are turning out, next time I'll make butterscotch. For sure. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will post her recipe, and we'll see. We'll see. I'll post her recipe, and I'll wait for these to harden up, I'll plate them and I'll take a picture of it and I'll be back on later to show you guys. So I will talk to everybody later. I hope you all have a good day. Bye. Bye, Trace.